you see the size of letters?
Yeah.
Right.
So it will be a long line, but and this is empty space. I invite you to use my credentials just for practice right now. Later on you will get your own accounts, but we need to practice something. And I'm continuing to the next line before hitting enter. Then you hit enter and it will ask.
Is remote pulse? What is this?
I will explain. So in your command line, when did everyone go to this window?
No.
No? I will help if you didn't. And then there will be prompt command line where you can type something, and there you need to type SSH. So SSH is a communication software that connects your PC to a Linux remote computer. SSH is abbreviation for secure shell. But I'm going to make circle around all desks and make sure that those are. So for the first time. Yes. And just wait. Uppercase first letter. Type it, I want to see it. It will not show. No, it's a secret password.
And the B.
We are on recording. We are not supposed to share passwords.
No.
And please do not tell anyone outside of the classroom that we did it. Okay, you're in, and just wait. Do not write.
Hello, if any of this be capitalized,
Not yet.
go ahead.
Yes, and you'll memorize the type next time.
Oh, and yes,
Open the power file.
This is?
Yep.
Type this one.
No.
No space.
I don't put this one, I think.
Oh, well,
Just wait here. You're in. Tell me what to do.
You could, like, I almost want to go with more people to say things.
Okay, so you will change the password
Huh?
later, right?
After we finish the class, I will change it, but during the class we should.
Thank you.
So after you go to this stage, we may want to immediately start practicing some operations. So try to type the command ls and enter. Just two letters, ls, which stands for listing.
So you want to go to
Um,
CHEM676?
Yes. So ls stands for list and enter, list of files. It is same as in Windows File Manager. You see list of files, but if you do not have graphical screen, and you know, before about 1990, there were no graphical screens. Everything was done like that. And even on PC computers, there was disk operating system, DOS, instead of Windows. So everyone was doing this way. So if you type ls, it shows files, and there is another basic command pwd, which stands for pathway detection. So you know, if you create many files, directories, subdirectories, it shows the whole root of directories where you are. So
Dimitri, so you say L is for list files?
ls for list files and pwd for pathway detection. So when if you do cd, means change directory. If you do cd and enter, it will bring you to the original place where we started from. And now I do want to go to a place where we will do practice for the class. So I'm making cd shared, cd username, cd CHEM676, and here after you do these commands, I invite you to do the command mkdir, which stands for make directory, and then put your name, not the word name as I type here, but your name. So it will be personal like directory for your practice. And I'm going to make a circle around and make sure things do work at your side. So you will need video there. MKDIR. Space and then type your name. And then enter. Type your name. Just listen to this. Type your name. Yes, first type your name as you want to pull it. And then no spaces.
Oh, okay.
But maybe it will, this will be there. Good. Very good.
So just a folder.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my folder.
Okay. So you all are in the directories, and now there is a. I suggest to make a little exercise that will be considered as a torture. We will be done within 5 minutes, and there will be no intellectual challenge. But it is very against human nature. Just concentrate, prepare to do something unpleasant. Later on, you will benefit from it. In our regular life with computers, we often create files. Read them, edit them. You click mouse, open your Microsoft Word, and then start typing your thesis or whatever, a letter to someone you want to write a letter. What if you are in a command line and you are not allowed to use mouse? How do you open file and how do you edit it? There are some modern ways, but I will show you one of the most ancient and unpleasant ways. So prepare. It will be hard. It is like everything scrambles inside myself when I am doing it for the first time. Prepared, right? Good motivation. So I'm typing vi space my file or the name of the file and hit enter. This is okay. So I, with this, let me write it down here. vi space my file. Do not do after and hit enter. And then you get, so you see my file. It's like we opened Microsoft Word, right, to edit files. But if you will try to, do not try to type things, because you are not yet in the mode that allows you to type. If you want to type something, you first need to put letter I, and then it shows here insert. After you put little I, then you can start inserting and typing. Here is my first test. I know Linux. Whatever. Try. It doesn't need to be very smart. But then, after in Microsoft Word, when you create a file, when you write whatever you want to save it and exit this editorial tool. This, now we are approaching to the most unpleasant thing. So you do not have mouse. You do not see any menu that you can operate. So you need to do to cast a spell, to use some secret combination of keys that if you are not very sharp, you will not randomly push it, right? So like a password, which will mean to save this text into the file. So will be first look and then try. One needs to put like several things simultaneously, like on a piano. Escape, colon, which probably you need to keep shift button pushed. Then W, then quit, and then enter. So escape,
There
you
is
escape.
no space.
No space.
Capital T.
I'll show it. Escape means you escape from insert mode. Colon that like listen to me, I will give you a command. W means write, and Q means quit. Escape,
W means what?
write, quit. Huh?
You said W means?
W means write. W R I T E. Q means quit.
It's a capital W or lowercase?
Lowercase.
Lowercase.
I will make a circle and check. So, escape. Shift. Okay. I told you it will be hard for humans. Not like this. There is a button called escape. Then you do shift colon. Then right. Quit. I told you. Oh, you did it. This. Okay. This one. Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Wait.
Well, it's not my name, I'm just working as your secretary. Escape. Escape. Okay. Everyone? You're good?
So what is the difference between phi and VI and
Nano is much more pleasant for humans. If you have Nano installed on your computer, it is much easier to operate. But VI is so standard that it is put on any Linux operating system by default.
Okay, so Nano is not compatible with everything, but Phi is.
Yes, if you can use VI anywhere, and Nano, there is no promise that on a specific computer Nano will be installed.
Okay.
But yeah, couldn't.
This one is home. Okay.
I think I will not type it.
It's a joke about physics exam. Write me on a blackboard Newton's law, and the person Newton's law. So some of us did escape like ESC. No, it's button escape. So now if we do not want to edit file, but we want just to observe, we can do more my file. More, which means give me more. Just show what is inside in the file, and it shows file.
These commands usually are for Linux.
Yes. And we need to practice it because for submitting jobs and editing
Yeah,
in the
that's
files.
We appreciate it. It's very useful.
So please just try this little command.
Did it work?
Yes.
Did it work on your side?
Did it work for the more commands? Oh, you're trying nano, right?
Yeah, how to.
I do it with. So we have my file and we have file 1. File need to write.
Okay, so we need to define some name.
Yes. Yes. Things work. So
And what's the comment for editing?
what if I want to add one more line at the beginning of the file? Or, it's too boring. If I want to delete something, delete first word in the file and then save it back. So I type this VI again, VI, and I want to remove the word here. And then is my first test. Make it grammatically incorrect. So I type letter X just as many times as I want to delete symbols. X, 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 X. And then if I want to save file, I type escape, colon, right, quit. After that, if I do my file, it shows is my first test. The word here is deleted.
Question, did you say X?
X,
Alright.
lowercase x.
It's not working for me.
I'll make a circle.
I don't know what I did.
Don't worry, it's fine. So not just VI, but VI my file. And a little trick. Some humans like myself are super lazy. And typing even 5 extra symbols is a torture for me. But if there is a command that is repeated again and again, if you push arrow up, it brings your previous command. Even more, yeah, and then it shows your file. Escape.
Alright. X.
Arrow.
Oh. Perfect, thank you.
Luckily, it is not the English grammar class. Then if you want to exit, escape. Escape. Go. Then open. And I put this one. Okay. there are two modes. X means delete mode and I means insert mode. If you want to type something over, type letter I. Escape I. Did it work? Did it work on your side?
What do you need to press now?
Huh?
Escape.
Escape. And then shift, go on, escape, right. It's working. It's working? If by some reason you need to delete the complete line, you can type letter D. D, and it deletes complete line.
For what? I didn't get.
If you need to delete a line, if you are tired to type XXXX.
Okay.
Double D, both capital.
Lowercase. I think we are approaching the glorious end of today's meeting. You don't need to be super tired. Right? There are more commands that we will learn this time, but suppose you have an idea about English word that may or may not work as a Linux command. How can you check whether such command exists and what is its function? So you can type man, which means not a person, but it is manual. Man and then ls. And it will tells you 100 pages about what this. So man ls, list directory contents, blah, 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 and then you will be expert in this command.
How to say this? Escape?
Escape. Escape. Home. Right. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Man, space, and then name of a command. So like man pwd. Print name of the current working directory, right? It is what we were doing. Or let's check if it has instructions on VI. Yeah. VI
Up to the
text editor. Just type Q, letter Q.
Oh.
I think we are approaching to human ability to absorb new knowledge, and we do not want to overcome this limit. Maybe a last command.
Showing me
TOP.
okay.
So if you are on the cluster or if you have your home computer with Linux, it is a useful command. If you do not have job scheduler, in some sense it is similar to the job scheduler on a big cluster. So you know, we are how many? 9 people right now, right? And we all are logged into the same computer. Each of us gives some assignments, some commands. And this poor computer needs to decide whom to serve first, how to share resources between so many users. And this TOP, like each process, like when you run VI editor, when you type PWD, it's one of the process. One command is one process. It gives number. Each process has its owner, user, and then it has its priority and amount of resources. Like right now, I am running this command, and it takes 100% of CPU. And it was running for 5,000 hours. But there are like about 8 CPUs in this computer, and it has enough time, so it is under this user, and see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people of this class are running the top command. It comes into here, right? It just self-control. Like if I'm waking up with hangover, and who am I? What I'm doing? Which processes I need to solve? So a computer does the same, like waking up and checking. I am solving all these problems. The one that at the top has a higher priority and takes more resources. All of those are also use some resources. R means running, S means sweeping. Like when, yes?
This is very dumb, but like, okay, so for the top it has like 100% CPU, but the next one is 19.7. So how can it have over 100%?
If you have dual core, no. I'm so happy you're following, because like I remember myself in like middle school, where the instructor tells something like, oh, okay, I'll better do my things. So if it is 100%, it means one CPU is completely busy. Okay. If it is dual core, then productivity can reach up to 200%. If it is like 8 cores, it can be 800. Or 8 processors, 100 each. Okay? So this is just one computer with Linux. When we meet next time, we will use this computer to connect to a true cluster that has one central node that operates a lot of other nodes and CPUs and can ramp productivity drastically. So I'll sit here for a little time and check if you have any questions, but I think it is enough for the first meeting.
Okay, and what about the schedule for tomorrow?
Huh?
The time of the class?
I need to just cool down after the meeting, look on your responses, and then send an email.
Okay.
Like, I really like 11 a.m., but I'll check majority of votes, and then I will communicate with facility of rooms, check if rooms are available.
Okay. Thank you
for the time. Yes.
How can I get out from the same
Oh! Q? Just letter Q.
Okay, thank you.
And if you believe, do not rush to do the next command. I'm just telling you, but do not do it. If you want to complete your session and depart, do not type it, because otherwise, if you type it by error, you will need to re-enter. So if you want to complete your session, type exit. If you do not really plan to finish the session, do not do it. Because to log in back, you will need again to type the name of user, computer, password. But if you are done with the session, it is a good practice to exit. If you don't, there will be a computer janitor who will clean after you. But it's better to, as a good habit, to type exit when you exit.
Okay, if I type exit, it will kick me out.
Yes. So when you are ready to leave the class, before doing this, type exit. Huh?
We finished, or?
Yes, you're free to go. Thank you for investing your time, and I know that you could be surprised because on the line it stays like 3 hours. We do not need 3 hours. We better meet for short lectures and do a little practice here. When it will be closer to completing the project, you may decide to stay a little longer by your free will to complete some research, but it's not my goal to keep you long in the room.
Okay, thank you.
One question. How many nodes normally in one class? Or it depends.
You know the price of a single laptop or single desk. If you just go to Best Buy, right? It's like $1,000 for like mid-size. If it is upgrade gaming computer, maybe 5,000.
Yeah.
So if you have $100,000, you can build a cluster of 20 nodes, right? If you have $1 million, you can do 200 nodes. And the job schedulers are not limited. They can, the same software can maintain like 40,000 nodes easily. If you're curious, Linux and job schedulers have no problems with many nodes, but the computational chemistry codes for modeling molecules and their structures not always scale well. If you request more than like 100 or 200 CPUs, it stops increasing productivity. You invest more resources and it stops getting better. So, and this is a driving force for like programmers to improve the software. But up to like 1 or 2 hundreds, more CPUs, quicker, better outcome. I don't remember what is the capacity of CCAS, but it's like maybe within 1,000 nodes, no more. I know that university doesn't have money to buy more than 1,000 nodes. The NERSC supercomputer facility is like clear on a global scale, and it has like, I don't remember, but like 40,000.
How do you normally exit from it?
Huh?
How do I normally exit from it? Do I-
Just type exit.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
So the lab will be on Wednesdays.
Lab will be on Wednesdays starting at 5.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you very much for letting me.
Oh, not a problem. My pleasure.
Okay, thank you.